Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video. And when I did my Barret showcase, a lot of people were like, hey, can you do a showcase video for 120 Viktora? Because they saw her popping off in some of my videos or streams. And I was like, absolutely. Viktora is one of my favorite older units in the game. She's new to the 120 squad, and she's really, really good and really, really usable in the current state of the game. So we're going to show some fights. I'm going to tell you about her strengths and weaknesses and how to think about using her, as well as kind of telling you where to avoid using her a little bit, because she does have some weaknesses. So let's talk about all of those things right now. All right, let's start things off with a fight, because again, I think that's the most exciting way to start off one of these showcase videos. And in the team comp that I'm running here is going to be Barret as sort of my like tank. Barret's not really a tank, but he does have hate to pull it away from Viktora. I'm also going to run Laswell and of course Viktora herself. The idea here being that Barret will help keep Viktora safe, and she herself, Viktora, is almost like, I almost want to call her a long-range sniper spear-using unit, right? Her horizontal jump that got upgraded through her EX job is one of her two, I will say, main damage-dealing abilities now. It's not her only one, and in fact, her limit break is something you also need to consider, but it is so good now, and her range means she can almost always, on these medium or short-range maps, be ready to get damage in on her second turn. Now we're watching this one play off. She's going to take to the air right here, dragon dive. Look at that damage. Actually kills 2B and pops the courage on Elena. Now, here's what you're seeing. You're seeing Barret with his hate kind of protect Viktora right here. You saw her take some damage in the beginning of this fight, and definitely one of her weaknesses is she's a squishy girl. So it's important to have somebody who can absorb some of that hate, keep her alive, and I was able to cover that as well with the zombie Ryu TMR. Now, we got unlucky right there. We got dodged, but we get another turn. She pokes Tifa in the back using that speed, and we pick up the win. That was a fun fight, and it showcased a lot of what using Viktora is all about. I'm going to go into more detail about that next. Okay, so on the screen right here, I'm not going to spend very long on this one at all. This is an old graphic I used on her like EX preview, but I just want to point out, like, look at the stat increase she got from 99 to 120. This was a really, really important thing for her, especially her attack going up to that 514 range, because Viktora is meant to kill people in one jump. Like, that's her goal. If she can't do that, I think you're going to struggle. But luckily for her, piercing attacks are one of the hardest attack types in the game to resist. Now, let's go look at Viktora a little bit closer, and I'm going to show you like her core skills and things you want to play around. First of all, in her Dragoon job, it's all about a couple moves I was talking about before. Her new move, Frost Reaver, the AI really likes to use this, and the debuff it applies. The Frostbite debuff is crippling to the enemy team. That AP drain can turn a fight by itself. The AI likes to use this, so keep this skill turned on. But really, let's be real. It's all about this one right here, Shattering Dive. Look at the range on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 range. This gets her in range of the target. It now has a defense debuff on it, which again goes back into that one-shotting people thing. It deals large damage, and it helps cover one of her weaknesses. There's a key difference between Shattering Dive and Frost Reaver as her two main like damage dealing skills. Frost Reaver's instant cast. Now you might think that's a really good thing. I want her instantly doing the damage. But remember, one of Viktora's weaknesses is she can die fairly easily. Even with the big jump to health that she got, she's really only super effective against missile units. So if she's in the air casting like a dragon dive, which you just saw in the last fight, or her shattering dive, those are turns where the enemy cannot hit her, and she gains a little bit of like weird tankiness by just flying around. Like, you can't even see her, right? She's up in the air, she's like high-fiving Bahamut, comes back down, sees Gilgamesh on the way down, and is like, what's up, I'm an ice unit too. Then she lands on somebody's head and kills them. So I really like the cast time on Dragoon's abilities. It's pretty cool, and you just saw her damage that she's capable of doing. Now, one of her weaknesses is her squishiness, right? So what I like to do, I think you run her vision card on her Mask of Deceit all the time if you can, And there's plenty of missile teams out there. Cloud and Frederica teams. There's even the our new boy Jaden is a missile unit, although he's a magic missile unit, so he's still going to hurt a lot. This will give missile resist up to your group, and it gives pierce attack up to your group. That's perfect. And one of the perfect people to run her with is Laswell, because he has access to that Dragoon sub-job. It also gives her Man-Eater, it gives pierce attack up, it gives wind attack resist. It does, actually, this one's not for her. This one's for Mont. Why the hell does this on this? I don't know. Pierce attack, this is hers. So this card just makes her into that one-shotting machine and makes her a little bit tankier. I love the Zombie Ryu TMR on her as well. One thing I used to do when I ran Holiday Ramada, who could one-shot people back in the level 99 days, was I'd have her go be a duelist, but she needed to get an attack off to win the duel. I would use the zombie mask to kind of overcome her natural weakness, so if they attacked her first and she died, she could get back up, do her killing. I really like that on Viktora. Otherwise, go for bells, go for speed tuning, something like that, or you can speed tune with this slot right here. Icelands. I think this is a must on her. This ice attack up 30 is just clutch. You need this. You need this. Now, another thing I want to talk about, another squad that she's good against besides missile is wind evasion squads. Remember, ice has the advantage against wind, and you have this neat card for ice teams, Odin, which gives ice units accuracy up 25. So you get unit attack resist, make her a little bit tankier, and your whole squad a little tankier, and 25 accuracy. If you can find some accuracy in your gear, like with the pod or any of the other accuracy pieces of gear you might have, this can make Viktora very, very good at killing those wind element evasion units like you just saw her kill 2B and Tifa. That's a good use for her. So that's a big thing, right? That's why she's kind of usable right now. What's she good against? Missiles and wind evasion, right? If you have the stuff. You can find missile teams right now. You can also find wind evasion teams right now. And that puts her in a pretty good spot, and her damage is awesome. Okay, let's go into another fight and talk about her a little more. Okay, another fight. This one is a missile and slash team. This is a little bit scary for Viktora. We're really going to be relying on a couple things for us to win this fight. One, that Zombie Ryu TMR. You guys, I just have this feeling. Viktora will do one of two things here. She will either jump on the enemy team before they attack her and destroy them, and will win really easy. Or they will get to attack her first, and we're going to need the re-raise to come in clutch for us. Also, notice the enemy team is migrating towards Barrett, so Barrett might be able to tank a few hits, buy us a few extra turns, so Laswell and Viktora can pop off. Now, Laswell, unfortunately, not in range to do damage on his second turn, but okay, we get lucky and we get a Frost Reaver off, but we get massively unlucky and it gets reflexed by Frederica. Elena doesn't die to it. It would have killed Frederica, but instead, the worst freaking skill in this game, Reflex, pops off and just destroys us. But look, this is the other thing. Barrett comes in and tanks the Elena. Now we're not in that bad of a spot. Frederica's gonna poke Elena, kills her. That's great. I'm sorry, Viktora's gonna kill Elena. Frederica kills Barrett, but his job's done. Laswell smashes Cloud, and then Laswell goes again. He takes to the sky. Viktora takes to the sky. They high five and land on Frederica's head. Maximum damage. Get out of my game, you reflexing little girl. And we win the fight. That is how you use Viktora and how you kind of cover her weaknesses. Now, I do want to talk about a couple other things. One, this map, Cave, is particularly good for Viktora. Let's talk about why. It's medium range, right? She gets a turn at least to cast her buffs, but then she's very, very quickly in range to start using her abilities. If it's too long of a range, things get weird. She might get stuck in like buff looping or something like that, but long range maps aren't bad. Just I would avoid very, very short range maps because I do think a couple rounds of buffing are good for her. Also, it's very flat. And very flat maps are very, very important for your jumping units. Now, her horizontal jump, Shattering Dive, did get a little bit of a buff. It does have range height 1 now. It used to be 0, I believe, so you can have a little bit of elevation change, but I wouldn't recommend using Viktora on like maps with the elevation all over the place. She might just get stuck in these weird like loops where she's buffing and she's next to people, but they're too above her and she can't really do anything. So look out for that. She does have vertical jump, but check out like vertical jump's range just sucks. You can't count on vertical jump to be your like big difference maker in my opinion. So I like medium range flat maps for Viktora, just like Cave, and just like a lot of maps in this game are. So anyway, that's the video. This isn't like, that's how I'm using her. That's my little guide and showcase here. And that last fight was freaking cool. Like, we got a pop-off fight, and that was wonderful. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button so more people on YouTube can enjoy the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel, because we are pushing for that 10,000 subscriber mark. And yeah, I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.